Post from megcore. My 25th birthday in Shanghai. This is the perfect time to share this story, since my birthday is just a few days away. 3 years ago, I was a relatively new arrival in China and was still making sense of how to navigate daily life on the other side of the world. I also wanted to do something special to celebrate my upcoming 25th birthday. So I decided to visit Shanghai for the first time ever. It was only a half-hour or so train ride from the city I was living in. The day comes, and because of a lot of miscommunication, I end up without a hotel room or a means to get one for most of the day. Only at 4:30 p.m. do things finally start coming together. And at this point I'm beat and a little disappointed with how my birthday had been turning out so far. However, I was determined to make it great still. So I started looking for relatively cheap hotels near the train station. I just wanted to drop off the stuff I'd been lugging around all day. Keep in mind that there are people everywhere since 1, it's Shanghai, and 2, it's within walking distance of the train station. The first 2 were too expensive. The next 2 only allowed Chinese nationals to rent rooms there, even though those were the cheapest options. After being told a second time that this hotel only rents to Chinese people, I walked back outside again, exhausted and defeated. That's when I hear someone calling behind me. Hey, hey. I turned around. What now? There's a tall Chinese man trying to wave me down. Immediately I felt something was off about him, but I brushed it aside. We start talking in Chinese and he asks me if I'm looking for a hotel room. I answer that I am. He then goes on to say that he knows a great place a street over that's only 150 RMB a night, definitely within my price range. But first he asks me, what country is your passport from? I'm a little thrown off by this question. But considering I'd just exited a hotel that only rented to Chinese people, I figured maybe it was relevant information. America, I replied, flashing him my passport. His whole face lit up and he starts enthusiastically telling me how he can take me there. It's just a street over. At this point, I'm willing to accept anything because of how long and tedious of a day it's been. I also interpreted this stroke of luck as a birthday gift from the gods. Lol. I want to mention here that I always felt very safe in China. Aside from this incident, I was struck by how kind and friendly Chinese people were and how they'd be willing to help you, especially if you spoke a little Chinese. Hell, I used to walk home alone on empty streets at 3 or 4 a.m. in my city and not think twice about it. As an American woman, that feeling was huge, and definitely a welcome change of pace. It was certainly unlike anything I'd ever experienced at home, so I didn't think too much of this incident at first. I thought he was just trying to help me. By now, you've probably correctly guessed that I'm a bit naive and trusting by nature. I started following this guy through the post-work throng until he meets up with a short, elderly woman. They start chatting and pointing at me, and finally the man tells me that this woman will lead me to the hotel instead. I'm starting to get impatient because he initially made it sound like it was only a street over. But apparently that's not true. So I start following the lady. Within a minute or so of walking together, she asks me the same passport question . I give her the same answer and suddenly she becomes much warmer and friendlier, commenting on how good my Chinese was. At that point it was not. I assure you, etc. We keep walking for 10 minutes, and I'm starting to wonder where the hell this hotel is. I then ask her how far away we are, to which she replies, oh, it's just the next street over, so we have to take a taxi to get there. Oh no. That's when my red alert bells started clanging like crazy. I feel my gut telling me to get the hell out of there ASAP. Of course, I was still in the frame of mind that I'd be rude if I just walked away. But I also knew getting in that cab would be a huge, life-altering mistake. I started thinking of an escape plan, knowing I only had a few minutes before we reached the cab. Finally, we get there and she opens the door. I shit you not, right as I'm about to get in, I back away and say, hey, I think I'm going to find another hotel instead. I'm sorry. Well, she did not like that. I start walking back the direction I came from and she starts following me and yelling at me, saying things like, hello, where are you going? It's such a cheap hotel. Are you crazy? It's only 1 street away. So close. Meanwhile, I'm 100% positive now that I just dodged something extremely shady. She keeps berating me until she whips out her phone and speaks animatedly with someone on the other line. In my heart I knew it was that guy. I was right. When I reached the hotel where the encounter began, I wasn't surprised to see the same guy there, presumably searching for me. When he saw me, he started off on the same spiel as the woman, saying how I was passing up a great deal. Blah blah blah. By now, I am thoroughly spooked and just want to get out of the crush of people and away from this guy, who's now following me down the street. I pick up my pace and finally lose him once I enter one of the many malls on the main drag. I lock myself in a bathroom stall for 20 minutes and text my boss everything that had just happened. I needed to tell somebody. I also just needed to be alone for a while to marinate in everything that had just happened. Thankfully, I found a great hostel about a half hour later and I ended up meeting some of the coolest people I've ever met that night. So my birthday wasn't a complete bust. In fact, it ended up being an awesome night, all things considered. But still, what a ride. Hopefully, my birthday this year will be much less interesting in that sense. So to that woman and the man near the train station in Shanghai, let's never meet again. Comment from littlefang. Thank you for your submission to @LetsNotMeet. Your post has been reviewed and approved. As a reminder, our subreddit is in no way associated with any narrators, and while we do not condone their use of stories in this sub, we cannot stop them from scraping this subreddit for content. However, we can, and will, immediately and permanently ban anyone that ignores our rule against promotion or asks for permission to narrate a story in the comments. This subreddit will never profit off of your content or use it elsewhere. If you find that your story has been used somewhere else without your permission, please visit @sleeplesswatchdogs and check their sidebar for advice on how to stop these people from profiting off of your content. Comment from feelingjustpeachy. I lived in Shanghai for years and always felt safe. I speak pretty good Chinese and often got approached by Chinese people asking to take me to hotels, spas, shops, etc. Eventually I started asking questions and found out that they make commission off foreigners they bring in, as they can typically overcharge. I told many of them about how many people were likely concerned about crime and most of them were shocked, saying they were just trying to make dollar off tourists to feed their families and would never hurt a foreigner. One of them even told me about the death vans, mobile execution units, and how once you are charged with a crime you are convicted. So most of them seemed genuinely terrified to commit a crime. Hopefully it was something innocent like that, as crimes against foreigners are very rare and violent crimes even more so. But probably still good you got out of there. Comment from Adios Felicia 2. Few events in life have had as profound an effect as being an American woman in a foreign country, and being able to walk alone at night, without fear, for the first time in my life. It's amazing what we can get used to and normalize in our minds. The rampant violence against women and general attitude of sexual aggression women experience in America is overwhelming. It burdens our minds and hearts at all times. We're forced to live in fear and remain hyper-vigilant in our own homes. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe.